Hello, everyone. I'm Dean Webster. I'm the Executive Director of the North Carolina Institute for Constitutional Law. Today, on behalf of our clients who are over here, Mike Munger, Barbara Howe, and one of our clients, Mark Cares, is not here, we filed a lawsuit in Superior Court, Wake County, to challenge the constitutionality of the tax benefit and subsidy regime that the state of North Carolina has set up for one privileged entity recipient, to wit, Google. And we are contending that the regime violates our state constitution on numerous grounds, including the public purpose clause in the Constitution, the uniformity of taxation clause, the fair and equitable taxation clause, and the prohibition against exclusive emoluments. There are numerous legal arguments that can be made against the Google tax benefits, as well as public policy arguments. We, of course, are asserting the legal arguments, and we are grateful to our plaintiffs for having the sense of duty and citizenship to come forward with this lawsuit and to take on the state in this regard. And we think that a favorable outcome will be for the benefit of the state as well as for our clients. And at this time, I will open the floor for any questions. I can continue to take questions for as long as you want to stick around. If some of you need to leave at some point, we can sort of disband the press conference, and I'll be happy to meet with you individually or in small groups if you want to kind of let the main part of the questioning peter out. But I am happy to talk about the case to any degree that you wish. And also, I think our plaintiffs, Mr. Munger and Ms. Howe, would be willing to take questions as well. Are there any questions? Yes, sir, Colin.
Could you talk about how this is similar to the Dell suit, and could you talk about the status of the Dell suit?
Yes, the case in some respects is similar to the Dell suit, although here we do have legislation which we contend is very much crafted for and perhaps to some extent by Google, and which we refer to as the Google legislation. So it's got that differentiating factor. Plus, in our case, we are presently challenging only incentives provided by the state of North Carolina, whereas the Dell case also challenged some local government-provided subsidies. The Dell case is presently pending at the State Court of Appeals. The parties have already submitted their briefs to that court, and the three-judge panel has already conducted oral argument in the Dell case, and we are now awaiting that court's ruling on the Dell case. Our claims in that case were dismissed at the trial court level. One of the grounds was a standing ground. We think that subsequent case law from the state Supreme Court has pretty much taken care of us on the standing issue, but then the merits remain an issue in the Dell case, and that was the primary focus, almost the sole focus of the Court of Appeals argument were the actual merits. And numerous of the same theories that are being used in this challenge to the Google benefits.
Why file that, man? I mean, if the issues are substantially the same, why not let that be litigated before you challenge these other incentives?
Well, I don't say that they are the same. They are different structures. There's actually different legislation that's being challenged in this case, which we refer to in the complaint as the Google legislation, and so it has those differentiating factors. And further, this is the way the lawsuits work. We are representing certain individuals in that case, and they wanted to challenge the Dell incentives, and now we're representing certain other individuals who have asked us to pursue the Google subsidies, and so we're representing them. We have different clients in this case.
Could you describe in simple terms what's the problem here?
To avoid using too much reference to the actual language of the state constitution, I would say the problem in some respects is twofold, and that is, one, it involves special treatment of a single private for-profit business, Google, which is not going to be operating for the purpose of providing public amenities or public infrastructure or public social services, but is just going to be doing what all of us do, which is trying to earn a living, or in their case, a profit. So that's the first problem, in favoring a single particular private entity. The second problem is, and it's correlated to that, it's the government presumptuously getting involved in making economic decisions, which it really is not competent to do, and picking a particular enterprise or type of business to funnel money into, and doing it at the expense of we the taxpayers. It's counterproductive, it's unfair to we who are having to shoulder the burden, and so that's the other component to sort of look at it in lay terms as to what is wrong with it. It's not being a government of laws, but it's being a government of certain specific supplicants, and that's not the way the system is set up to work. Yes, please, Barbara.
I agree with 100% of what Dean said, but also it's government distorting the market forces, and plus, most of the economy of North Carolina is small business. 60 to 70% is small business. They don't have any opportunity to take advantage of any of these incentives, and so they're just a bad idea.
Barbara, tell us why you got involved in this.
Well, precisely that. Government is distorting the market. People should have the freedom and right to buy things from businesses, and business should have the right to sell things to people that want them. And you get politicians in Raleigh playing favors and getting photo ops and deciding, oh, this will be a good business. We'll create some jobs here. Won't we look good? They create 200 jobs and they think they've done wonders for the state of North Carolina. It's not true. I'll go sit back down now.
All right. Yes.
Would the issue be that the fact that certain companies are getting incentives, or the fact that there's incentives given at all by state government?
I think you can argue about both, but this lawsuit has to do with a specific incentive program, the one involving Google and the Google project. And we're representing these clients on that program. Yes.
Legislation cleared committee today in the House that would free up to $4 million over the next 10 years, essentially for Goodyear. Goodyear's not on the bill, but the sponsor says it's to help Goodyear. Goodyear's an existing company. They want to try and keep those jobs here. Is that different than trying to lure a company here, in your mind?
No, it's all special treatment for the recipient doing its regular business. And now it's not surprising that we would have other businesses, now those that are already present, trying to get on the gravy train. And a question is, where does it stop? Merely because you happen to be a ongoing enterprise that hires people or that creates tax revenue is not justification to have the government prop you up in any way. I don't think we expect, we as taxpayers expect to be propped up by the government when we do our jobs and when we pay our taxes, and nor should especially some of these huge corporations.